Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And that's supposed to help the knees?
It's supposed to help the ligaments and the tendons and stuff.
Really?
That's what Tom Brady was doing when he,
But they were making that kind of stuff when I was growing up.
I
They
know,
made
grandma's soup.
right.
There it is.
But
Bringing it back.
and that's supposed to really help?
Yeah, I mean, that's what Kobe Bryant was doing. People do it to recover from injuries.
Wow. We need to get back to the natural way anyway.
Oh, yeah. That's one thing I absolutely had to do is change my diet. Got older. I can't eat fast food anymore or
Right.
processed food. You know, sometimes I do, but I really can't. Can't recover.
It's like we've gotten far away from the natural way
Yeah.
of food. And it just, I guess it's making everybody sick and fat and out of it and bones hurt. What a mess.
You tried the all meat?
So what?
You tried the all meat diet yet?
Not yet. I hear people talk. So what?
I felt way better on that.
Oh,
I feel better on it.
oh, you doing that?
Sorta. It's hard at work because we're so busy. I just eat whatever. But if I can just eat meat and stay away from sugar, I feel great.
Really?
Yeah.
Just meat? That doesn't sound like fun.
They call it a carnivore diet. Oh, it's great.
They call it what?
Carnivore diet.
Oh. I don't need those little marker up here. Right, Bill? So I can only go right here, right?
Right.
I'll try to remember.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll try to remember, Bill. So you sometimes just eat just meat?
Yeah, but it's hard at work because I end up eating junk food
Right.
because they're working so many hours and that's all they have. And when I did stick to it strictly, I felt fantastic.
And nothing else but meat.
I mean, I'll eat some fruit, a little bit of fruit, not much.
I do the same. I eat 90% meat. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you know that.
But how do you live that way?
It's easy.
It's really easy.
What about the vegetables?
It's a lie.
The vegetables?
Yeah,
I don't miss them.
it's a
The
lie.
vegetables are lie?
I think so.
But how about when we're good morning. I'll rest my case. You can eat what you want. No, I'm playing. Welcome to Fellowship. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Thank you all so much for being with me. I do appreciate it. You can get involved by going to our YouTube chat line, and Hank will pass on your questions or comments to me. All right? What else? That's it. Good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
Amazing. So, I want to ask, do you have any questions? But I know y'all don't have any. I know that you have no questions or comments. So I won't ask. I already know you didn't have a life this week. You're just waiting to be taught, so I won't ask. I was thinking about life, and I realized that life is not gonna let itself work except for the way it want to work, the way that was set up to work. And that it's not going to work the way we try to make it work. And as a result of that, nobody has a real life, except for maybe one or two people who found the real way and let life work. But life is not going to do it our way. It's just not going to happen. No matter how hard we try to make it, it's not going to do it. It's not going to let it happen. It's going to it will continue to become a struggle. It will continue to be difficult. You will continue to be lost. You will continue to be out there trying to find all the things to make it work. Marriage, stuff, material things, and it just ain't going to work. You can try to force it, but it's just not going to work. And that's amazing to me. that is not going to work. And I have one example of that. I have 1,000 examples, but I have one example of that. And Gerald, can you read that for me? That and tell me where you get it from.
Yeah, this is.
Did you find the other way? No. Okay. We're going to get it. Where are you reading from? Which Bible?
This is from the Bible Gateway. I have two versions, so I have the new.
And the Bible Gateway ain't no fun. It's not a real Bible.
No. I have the new version.
What? You said the Bible Gateway.
No, that's the site. So I have the New International Version, or I have the King James Version. The King James Version, you like? Which one do you want me to? But it's kind of hard to understand.
King. Let's
Okay.
go with the King, and then we go with the Bible Gateway for the dummies.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, so the King James Version, this is Matthew 19, 4 through 6. And he said unto them, have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female, and said, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh. Where therefore God hath joined together, let not man put asunder.
Okay. And so read for the dummy.
All right.
Bible.
1 second. Okay. Having you read, he replied, that at the beginning the Creator made them male and female, and said, for this reason a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no man or anyone separate.
And so the point that I've noticed about that over the last 35 years of counseling and meeting with people, God said that to the man when you get married, go and take your wife far away from her family. Go and do your own thing, right? And I don't know of anyone that does that, that have done it. Especially now. In the good old days, I know of everybody that did it. They would leave the state. They would go. But I noticed that in today's America, when men get married, they either stay with her mama or his mama, or they move right down the block. You might well stay in the house with them. If you're moving down the block somewhere or right around there, it's not what he's mean by that. And I noticed that today, that what I noticed is so weird, that every man who have stayed around his wife's mother or his mother, the marriage never worked. The marriage is sick. It's all about fighting. It's all about the mother and the wife trying to take control of the husband. It's all about misery. It's all about the men who stay around their mothers. They become drug addicts and alcoholics, and they become making babies out of wedlock. But the marriage never worked. And even if they try to stay together, they're still miserable. And I also noticed that the men and the women tend to take advice from their mother during the marriage. How is your mother going to give you good advice when she's already screwed you up all your life, and then screw her marriage up all her life? She doesn't have any good advice to give you. There is no advice to give you. Not good advice, but the first thing the men and the women do, they run to mama for advice. Everybody that I've counseled with, they have done that, and everyone is miserable that have done that. And then when they break up or they separate for a minute, the wife run back home to mama, and the man run back home to mama. And it's still just mess. You are not going to never, ever have a successful marriage as long as you stay around your mama. You can't live around. She doesn't have advice. She's evil. She doesn't have good advice for you. And in her heart, she's jealous of you and your wife. So she's never going to let it work. And then just think about this. You don't know anyone with a good marriage. You've not heard of anyone with a good marriage that stayed around mama. And life is not going to work that way. It's not going to work as long as you stay around mama. You can hang it up. Life is not going to let it work, because that's not the way life is set up to work. It's not going to let it happen. And moving down the block from, why you move down the block from mama? Think about that. Why? You might move out of the house, but you live right over there. Why? What? Shantae? Child, no, that's just an evil excuse. If you're going to marry a woman that's not going to stay home and raise your kids, then why marry?
Most of them don't today.
So what?
Most of them don't today.
I'm sorry?
Most of them do not today.
Who, the women?
Yeah.
So why marry them?
Yeah. Good question.
And the answer?
I don't have it. for the sex.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's the drug.
Right.
Really. But it doesn't make sense. Why marry a woman that is not going to stay home and watch your children?
Couldn't agree more.
He couldn't agree more. Can you come with the mic? Hello?
Couldn't
Yeah.
agree more, although it's too late for me
Why?
because I already did it.
Is it, so you can't change your mind?
No, I mean, I already married her and I already dealt with everything you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Almost to the point where I feel like you're just talking to me.
Same here.
See? Everybody think I'm talking about that. When I counsel with people and I talk about different things in the meeting, they hear it, they think I'm talking about that. I'm like, I wasn't talking about you.
Yeah.
Everybody got the same problem.
Yeah.
It's not a new thing. Give me the examples of how it relates to you.
Well, especially with the mother, you know, I'm off at work. I have no idea. I come home and there's some kind of energy that I can't figure out.
Yep.
And of course now I know. But at the time I remember going, what's going on here? This isn't the harmonious home that it could be.
Yeah.
And who's this woman buzzing around? Yeah.
Yeah. And when the men find out it's the mama, they afraid to get rid of the mama.
Yeah.
And they'll tell the wife, you better get rid of your mama. No, you get rid of the mama.
She was actually telling my wife that she needed to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need to get a job. You need to help him. When I was fine. I loved that she was home taking care of that was the deal I made.
Right.
I actually made that deal in the beginning, but what can you do in a state like California when they just flip the script on you?
You can't have an excuse.
No, I understand, but
You just say, you know what, mama, get out of my house. Why you didn't put her out? When you found out what was really going on, why didn't you throw out your stepmother? I mean, your mother-in-law.
honestly, I didn't find out until everything went south on me.
Oh, I see.
Then I started listening to you, and I was like, wow,
Amazing.
how did he know?
It's with everybody. It's the same thing. And life is not going to work the way we want it to work. It's just not going to work. We can do it wrong. We can call it love, but it's not going to work.
Is this fact day?
So what?
Is this fact day?
Facts? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. It's truth day.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
Yeah.
Why did you throw your mother? Oh, you didn't have a mother-in-law, right?
I actually did. I moved close to my mother, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And why did you do that?
For some reason, I thought that my ex and I were fighting like crazy anyway. I thought for some reason around my parents, she might have some social pressure to act normally. So that's why I moved her there. And she didn't want to stay home, watch the kids. And I supported everything. She would not, even when they were little infants, she would say, I'm going to go work. And I'm like, no, what are you talking about?
And why did you just throw her out, be done with it then, right then, as soon as you found that out?
Well, after, the second kid, and I realized this was her attitude, I did. I left.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what was it like when you moved close to your mother?
I'm not sure it got much worse. It was always bad. I'm not sure it got much worse.
It got worse.
Maybe it did get worse, yeah.
Your mother was whispering to her when you were not paying attention. Believe me.
They really didn't like each other that much,
That's why she was
openly.
so- I rest my case.
Yeah. One thing you said this week that I thought was interesting is that you said you lost your kids the moment you decided to lay with an evil woman,
Yeah.
and that really just was like, wow, it hit home for me.
The moment you marry an angry woman, you lost your kids.
You said the moment you laid down with her,
Yeah.
you lost your kids.
On that very first lay down.
Exactly.
But because we're lost, we don't realize, we call that love. We don't realize that we're doing evil and we're calling it love. We're calling it everything but what it is. And it's just not going to work. And then we try to make it work. That's what's so crazy. If a marriage is not going to work, it's not going to work.
I got married because I tried to make it work.
Yeah.
I had kids out of wedlock, and then I thought I tried everything, and then I thought maybe she'll be happy if I marry her. She's telling me I need to marry her. That's the only reason I got married.
One of the dumbest things that men do is that. They say, oh, I got a baby with her now. I got to make this work. I got a baby, but it ain't going to work. You can't make evil work. Mm-hmm. You cannot make it work. And you're not supposed to be that tied to anything that you can't let go of. So if the laws, because the laws are not on the men's side right now, right? If the court said, okay, you can't see your baby, and you got an evil woman that's trying to keep you from seeing your kids, and say, okay, take her. You can have a baby. And let it go. Be willing to let them go.
I was wondering if the child support laws weren't in place and women were forced to be dependent upon men, I wonder how much better society would be.
It would be much better. Because one of the primary reasons that women leave, it is because they hate the man, they want to control him, but also they know that they're going to get the money.
Exactly.
So they don't have to worry about that. They can still do the little makeups and stuff like that. They're going to get the money, but if they didn't think they were going to get the money, they'll be less likely to leave. Mm-hmm. That's for sure. They'll just stay there and fight it out.
Or maybe behave better.
Not today's woman. Today's woman is cuckoo. Real cuckoo. Sorry. Except for those ladies who are waking up now. Another thing I noticed that married people do that is pure evil and never going to work is that they believe the lie from the mother that I want to see the kids. I'm grandmama and the kids need to see grandmama. They need to be around the grandparents. That's another lie. What she's really saying is that I need your kids so I can suck the life out of them too and destroy them in the same way I've done you. Because that's what happens. Isn't that right?
100%.
So what?
100%. You're very consistent on this truth today.
Thank you. I can't tell you the number of men who have turned their children over to the mothers, or the mothers, the wife of the man turned the children over to her mother, and the mother screw them up. Screw them up. They say, well, Mom, don't give them any candy today. She'd say, oh, okay. And as soon as you're in your car, she's like, come on, Johnny, you can have some candy, but don't tell your daddy, don't tell your mama. That's messing your kids up. Because you're teaching them to lie to you. She's teaching them not to be honest with you, not to trust you, or nothing. And that's what she's done to you with your father. Wait, why? It ain't going to work the way you're trying to make it work. Yes, Joel. Did you have anything else you want to say? No. Go ahead, Joel. I saw your hand.
I was just gonna say that it's the reason, at least the people my age, millennials that I've talked to, they stay close to mom because of, like he had said, the child care is that they use that as well, when we're working, we have somebody to take care of the kids and stuff like that. So they don't really know, they don't live by the order. They just stay close so the parents can take care of them.
And that's another evil, made-up excuse to keep them around that mother so she can destroy them. You got to work. You don't have to work if you're married. And even if you are married, get a babysitter.
And if you say that too, that you shouldn't have to work, you're married, then they go crazy.
Right.
Yeah, they don't understand that part of it.
I don't even.
The ladies.
It's crazy to me that a man. Well, I know what's wrong with the men too. But it's crazy to me that a man would even consider marrying a woman that says, "I'm going to work after we marry," especially when you have children. I don't understand. Why would a man say yes to that? Why?
Nice to have two incomes.
So what now?
It's nice to have two incomes, and life's a little easier if you have that cash flow that you're both earning, right?
And then sacrifice your children to hell?
No children.
So what if you had children?
I would still want her to work, so life becomes a little easier and easier to manage financially and live a better standard of living.
And so you will put your ego before your children?
My ego?
Uh-huh. Ego.
Ego. I know I have an ego, I've been told.
And you will put that before your children?
I think, well, I like your philosophy and what you've taught, what I've learned about you, and I like what these gentlemen are contributing because it's all
Is this your
fact
first
to
time
me.
here?
Yes, sir.
What's your name?
Ed,
Welcome, Ed.
thank you very much.
Go ahead.
But you know, what the reference is what the family nucleus used to be was ideal in the 40s and the
Well,
50s.
it's not what it used to be, it's the way God created so that life can work. If you do it God's way, it's going to work. But if you don't, if you have all these other ideas, it's not going to work.
It seemed
So
everyone
it's not
was
the way
more
it used to work.
God conscious back then.
Do what now?
It seemed the family's more God conscious and more involved with a orderly, godly direction where it's not today. To me, seemingly, there's just too much that destroys the families.
Right.
What I've seen.
And so you're willing to sacrifice your ego and let your children suffer?
I imagine, yeah, I would have to say yes, honestly.
And what's the purpose then of getting married and having a family if you're unwilling to make any sacrifice for them?
I see it as providing a better quality and standard of living for my kids if my wife's working and
Would-
generating more income.
And which is best for them, to have a father and a mother operating in the order of God and living in a hut, or to have a mansion on the hill and a father and mother at work and they're suffering?
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
You know, which is better for them?
Sure, the family, the mother raising the kids.
And so why would you choose the abnormal way over the right way?
For personal comfort, selfish needs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. My brother did that in the last couple decades. He worked and he wanted his wife to stay home, and she did.
Yeah.
He raised a great kid. Didn't last, but yeah, very interesting.
Right. And so, do you have children?
I do not, never wanted them.
Are you married?
No,
Oh, but
Been
don't
with-
get married, don't have children.
no, sir. Been
Yeah.
with my girl here for 10 years.
That's your girlfriend?
Yes, sir.
You've been with her for 10 years?
10 years. I
And you
love
kn-
her.
And she knows you don't want any children?
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah, I'm
she
too
said,
old
oh,
anyway.
So
But
what?
I'm too old.
How old are you?
60. I
You're
don't,
60?
yeah.
Abraham was 99 and Sarah was 100.
But I'm too old.
She has a great kid of her own that she raised by herself and did a great job.
Oh, so you already have kids.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, at least you know that you're going to be selfish, so don't make any children. And you happy with that?
Yeah.
Let her have a mic for me. What's your first name?
Sai.
This your first time?
Yes.
Oh, welcome, Si. So you're happy with not getting married and having any more children?
Yes.
And you have at least one grandchild?
No, no, I just have one son.
Oh, you just have one son.
Yeah.
And what's the purpose of being with someone if you don't want to get married or have children? Why be with him? Not trying
It's
to
just a
break you up, but
companion, I guess, like a friendship.
a friendship? You need a friend?
So my situation was, I got pregnant and I decided to have my son independently, with or without a father, that I could do it myself. So I'm the opposite of like what you're saying, talking about the home. So I'm self-employed, independent, successful, and I raised my son on my own. And he had autism disability, and I worked 3 days, 12, 15 hours a day to be there and take him to therapy. And so like I did everything myself without a man. So, I don't, truly, my situation is different because I didn't have the husband and that kind of role situation.
And did you want it?
No, I said, well, I wanted it, but on
You
certain
wanted the
terms.
husband?
Like, I like the whole thing, like you're saying, to do things the right way, have the man like offer you the home and do that. And so I grew up like kind of like, I didn't go to church, but I always see like in God's eyes view, like to do the thing where the man could provide. And then if he could provide that for me, then I'm going to his home and offer that. And I wish it was like that. But because I'm so independent, I made it to where like I'm staying here unless you could provide that for me. So I ended up doing everything myself to where I became successful and I offered everything for my son.
And so you were on an ego trip.
No, just the situation was I'm not going to be like, have the man come to my house and I support him.
Oh, live in your house. You're right about that.
So that's
you
why I
have-
didn't do that, is because I'm not going to be like, get the apartment and have the man mooch off of me. So instead, I raised my son on my own.
So the man you had the baby with wanted
Yeah.
to live with you?
No, he never was successful enough to provide anything for me.
Did he have a job?
Yeah.
He had a job. He had a place to live.
He almost became homeless.
But did he
Yeah.
have a place to live at the time?
Yeah.
He had a place to live. But he
With
just-
somebody else, though.
I'm sorry?
Roommate.
And so he just wasn't successful enough for you?
No, I wasn't going to move in with his roommate and him.
Did he ask you, did he say to you, okay, I'll marry you and I'll get a place and we'll move in?
No.
He did not say that. You
No,
would've-
but towards the relationship, he wanted to be with me, but I just didn't want that anymore.
Really? Even for the child?
No, after the child.
He wanted to be with you after the baby came?
Yeah.
And you didn't want to?
No.
Because you wanted him to be successful?
No, because I was already, we just didn't work out, and he started dating somebody else.
Oh, okay.
And so
So do
because
you
that
o-
scenario, I never left him. The scenario was he dated, and then I just went on with my life.
All right.
And then I had to do what I had to
And
do.
do you obey your boyfriend now?
Yeah,
You obey your boyfriend?
yeah.
You
Yeah,
obey him?
I respect him.
No, do you obey him?
Well, we don't really fight. and
Define
I
that.
respect.
Hold on.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you obey him?
Jesse, define that.
Okay, we're going to in a minute.
Uh-huh.
Do you obey him?
I think I do.
And
I
do
think
you?
I do.
And do you?
Yeah.
I respect her, and I tries to please her. I try to please her as well, whatever she needs or wants.
What do you think about that? What do
That's
you-
why we're together 10 years. Yeah.
Because he's been trying to please you?
You know?
And you like the fact he tried to please you? You like the fact he tried to please you?
Yeah.
But he can never please you, though. You notice you're never satisfied. Have you noticed that?
I don't know about that.
Is he ever satisfied? Speaking to the mic, yeah.
I think so.
Is he ever satisfied?
100%, probably not, honestly, but
You're never going to be able to please her.
why do you say that? What brings you to that conclusion?
2 reasons. Women don't know what they want. And a man should never, ever, 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 but never try to please a woman. He should just be right and do the right thing, and she has to follow him in his world. When you're trying to please her, you're in her world, and all you're going to catch is hell. Have you noticed that? I'm sorry?
I'm conscious of that on occasion, but it's not continuous, otherwise we wouldn't be together.
Stop pleasing her and see what happens. Stop trying to please her and do it right and see what happens. It'll be over next week.
It's not really pleasing,
Right,
right?
he can
It's
never
just like,
please you.
it's not pleasing. We're not in a
Right.
pleasing relationship. We're just like having a relationship which we respect each other. It's not him pleasing me.
But he's trying
That's what
to,
I
though.
think. Huh?
He's trying to please you.
It's
he's
not
trying to
pleasing.
give you everything
We're
you
just
want.
having a
Am I right?
relationship, communicating and having a good time.
That's what
It's
you
not
are
him
saying now,
pleasing.
but he's trying to please you.
No,
Am
but
I
I
right?
think it's a wrong word.
Hold on, don't tell her what to say.
No,
That's
really.
the right word. Hold
no,
on.
I'm just thinking about our relationship.
I know,
It's
hold
not
that thought.
Like that.
Hold that thought.
Yeah.
Mama, hold it.
Yeah.
You're trying to please her, right?
I do. Yeah. For example, I'm out and about. She's near my my residence. She has her own house. I have mine, and she has a business down at the beach. And I was out near her work, and I called her and said, "Hey, we want Starbucks." So I went and got her Starbucks and delivered it to her job. You know, because I'm thinking of her. I love her. I know she likes that, so I'll bring it to her. I'll drive over and provide it for her. And she called me yesterday or texted me and she wanted one, but I'd had some plans I couldn't fulfill. So I wasn't able to provide her coffee yesterday, drive down there, because I had other obligations. So I wanted to please her, but I couldn't.
You sent over Uber. Do what
That's
you
an example.
do what you want. Well, you say how old are you? 60.
Old 60.
Do you want to stop suffering at 60, or you want to just live that way?
Say that again?
Do you want freedom, or do you want to live that way for the rest of your life
I have freedom.
with her?
Absolutely.
Okay.
He doesn't do that all the time. The scenario of our relationship is honestly, he has freedom to do whatever he wants whenever. We never ask each other permission to do anything. He's just living his life. And as I fit into his life and I'm like, okay, what time are you going to be home or whatever? He does whatever he needs to do, honestly. So it's kind of like in a way of you saying that, the man leads his life and you fit into. Honestly, it is kind of like that, our relationship.
Do you try to please him?
I'm always trying to do nice things. Like, if I'm out and about with my mom and he's at home and he just had surgery, I'm taking him to his appointment, bringing him food, making sure he's okay. And I fit it into my schedule of even if I'm busy, I do please him that way.
But do you try to please him when you're not being a nurse? Because he doesn't need the hospital every day, right?
No, but I'm just saying on a daily, I try to please everybody around me and try to do the right thing and be thoughtful and, and bring things to people or whatever. I'm a very giving person. I do that for everybody in my life.
And why are you like that?
I feel I like to be like that.
Why?
I feel rewarded. It feels like a good feeling to be giving. If you have extra money and they don't have it and they want something, I like to treat people.
Okay, we need extra donation today.
You know?
Will you make sure you please me?
Not everybody, I pick and choose.
And so why do you like that thrill?
Honestly,
Yeah,
why am I like that?
yeah.
I don't know. I guess I came from a good family and they were always giving and caring, and my dad always got my back and was always there for me.
Right. And what will happen? How do you feel when those people that you help like that? I do understand what you give them money, you do this for them,
Time or whatever,
time or whatever. How do you feel when they misuse you or take advantage of you?
You know what? I've had this conversation too with people, and it hurts when people don't reciprocate and are there, but you have to unconditionally do things out of the kindness of your heart.
Right.
And hopefully the world is a better place and more people could be like me, but not everybody is like me.
Right.
I'm like 1% of everybody, honestly, but I keep giving.
And why does it hurt when they use you?
Because we're human. We wish that other people would be like myself, you know? But it's not like that. The world is not like that.
And you think that you're unique in that way?
I don't see many people around me like that, honestly.
I understand. What I want you to know, every woman is like that.
Mm-hmm.
Every woman is like that.
They have that in them, but maybe they don't do that.
They do it, and they get mad when you don't reciprocate. And they just say, everybody, no one like me. I give, I help, I'm always there, I give money, I take care of the kids, whatever, right? And then when they get used, they say, I'm the only one, I'm so good. Why they treat me this? I'm the only one this way. But every woman is like that. And you know why they do it?
Why?
Why they do what you do? You want me to tell you why the women do that? The young lady behind me wanted to tell you why women are like that. Men are like that, but the men are only like that when they're going to get some sex.
Yeah.
That's the only time. That's the only time they'll do it. Why are women like that? Speaking to the mic for me.
Yeah, I'm just sitting with the question. I guess most of the time it's an ego thrill. It's a thrill. It feels good and it makes you feel important. And it's most of the time, and I can only speak because I've done the same, I still do the same. But yeah, it's
for the thrill. Why are women like that? The young lady in the back. Why are women like that? They do everything for everybody, and then when they don't reciprocate, they say, "Oh, I'm the only one like that. I'm just so nice, and everybody not like that. I thought everyone would like me." Why are women like that?
To have their way.
I'm sorry?
To have their way.
The women want to have their way? Good point. Absolutely. Big Bob want to respond.
I'll say they're fake, they're a mess, and the ego that they have, it all plays a part in that. They want the feel-good moment.
Amazing. Yes, why are women like that? Even all mothers are like that too. And why are women like that?
I don't think all women are the same.
Why are they all like that though?
I don't think they are.
You don't?
I like what they have. 10 years is a long time. And
What?
Yeah, 10 years is a long time, man. I
You
like
the
what
fact
they
that
have.
they've been together without being married 10 years?
Nice.
Right.
Yes.
And you like the way she gives and people get hurt?
Big ups to y'all. I appreciate
Amazing.
y'all's
Thank you.
relationship. Yep.
Nice.
Jesse,
The young man in the black want to yes, sir. Why the
Jesse.
young man in the black want to respond?
certainly not all women are like her and the other gal or any of them.
Yes, they are.
Because she has she considers one of her best friends, Japanese gal, the most selfish, self-centered, just taker. And, I used to work with her. She introduced us 40 years ago, whatever it was.
Right.
We worked together. And her friend is just the most self-centered, self-absorbed, money-grabbing little whore that I've ever met.
Ooh, little
yeah,
whore.
it's terrible. And I tell her I don't know why she remains friends with her, because all she does is take.
You know why she
All
remained
she does is
friends with
take.
her? May I tell you why?
They grew up together.
No.
Yeah.
You said they did grow up, but that's not why she remained friends with her. You know why she remained friends with her?
Why?
because she loved judging her. She loved doing for this woman, and she loved getting mad about it. She loved bitching about it. She get a thrill. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to use the word bitching at church. I don't think you're supposed to say bitchy at church. It slipped out.
Probably not.
But no problem. It just means complaining. Hold your ears, kids. She get the thrill from it. She loved complaining about it to you, and she loved the fact you take her side on it and call this woman all these names, and she go right back to it, and then they feel good for a minute, or they friends, or they feel good, and now she tell you, oh, I'm wrong, Sue Sally is really nice, blah, blah, blah. And then it happened again, she go right back to it. She getting thrills. That's why she does it.
Not exactly.
No, that's why
Not
you do
exact-
it.
not
Then
exactly.
why don't you stop doing it then?
Because you know what? She's been my friend since 10. I'm like her
Then why
sister.
complain about it then?
Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because she has an addiction problem and she has 5 kids, and I kind of a role model for her. And she's like my sister from another mother, honestly. And I'm there supporting her.
So why,
That's why.
why not just keep quiet about it and not complain to
Uh-huh.
him or anyone about it?
He knows her and he talks to her. It's not like I'm complaining. He's
But
the
you
one
do
telling
complain.
me
You
about
tell
it.
him,
Trust me, he's the one too saying something about her, not me complaining. So it's on the reverse, actually.
what kind
I'm
of...
always the one saying I got to be friends with her or whatever. He's the one telling me I got to fire her. So it's the
Why
reverse.
don't you fire?
Huh?
Why don't you fire?
I'm not saying that I have to. He's the one telling me I should
But why don't you?
because I love her.
If you love her, you'll let her go.
Anyway, sometimes you're with people because they need you.
What? But
Sometimes you're with people
I
because
know,
they
but
need you.
You love being needed because it feeds your ego. It makes
No,
you feel like
I'm
you're...
barely friends with
it
her.
makes you
So
feel like
the
you're a
whole
good person.
situation is she's an acquaintance that pops into my life every once in a while. You know,
They're like going
Yeah.
into the bank.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. But this is about not just this couple here, but I don't know how we got on you guys. But it's a good example, right? Yeah. The guy in the black shirt and then here, yes. Why are all women like this?
I would say it's just mainly for feelings. The good feelings, they love the drama. Going back home and just talking about it. It's pretty much thrill. Yep.
Yeah.
Every woman's the same.
Including your mother. Your mother will do for you. She's supposed to do for you while you're growing up. But if you don't do for her, she's like, I raised you. I gave you this. I worked hard. Nobody, and she'll make you feel guilty so she can get something from you as well.
100%.
It was never out of love that she was doing that. Amazing. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't know about women, but me personally, I'm very generous with people, and when I think about it, it's all about me.
Yeah, because you're just like your mama. It's the same spirit.
That hurts. That really digs in.
But you realize that that's what it is. It's the spirit of your mother. You feel good about helping all. It just feels like you're such a nice guy. You
Or I
give.
want to eat at nice places, so I bring people along so I can eat at the nice places or have company or whatever. It's all about me.
Right, and
Yeah.
you're sitting there having that good meal, and you're looking around the table, and you know that everybody's there because of you.
Right.
And just make the meal sound taste even
I'm the
better.
man.
So what is it like seeing that right now? Seeing that about, I'm sure you've already seen it before, but what is it like seeing it right now?
I honestly feels kind of like it's just so natural. There's just no way out of that, really. It's just selfishness is the default operation for me.
Amazing, huh?
Yeah.
And do you want to stay in that?
No,
You don't want to stay that way?
I don't believe so. No.
So if you didn't want to stay that way, why haven't you overcome it?
All I know how to do is to admit it and watch it. How else can I overcome
You
it?
know that you're being like a woman, though, right? You know it's a woman's spirit.
Right.
Right. Oh, okay. And you do see it.
Yeah. Well, not until right now when you call me my mom, but yeah, it makes sense.
It's totally like your mother. It's totally woman. It's abnormal for a man to be that way. A man help, but a man help in a way that helps, not in a way where he gets ego feeling from it or it hurts the other person. Mm-hmm. Women help because it's all ego and it destroys everybody else. Mm-hmm. It doesn't help at all. And a man that has that spirit, that's what he's doing too. Amazing. Huh?
I've forgiven my mom. What else can I do?
I'll tell you in a minute. That's a good question. That's a very good question. Alexis, do you know why women are like that?
Yes.
And why?
Well, for me, on this whole topic of like selfishness and
Speak up a
want,
little
on
bit.
the topic of like selfishness and just doing things for ourselves, I've realized, and I'm realizing right now, for me, it's like, I know that the emotion that's attached to the want will like never, ever, ever be enough. And so that's like in wanting to help somebody else, in wanting to buy this thing, and whatever want it is, it's never, ever going to be enough. But I do know that when your needs are met, everything is perfect, and you don't want for anything else. And so the whole wanting to help others, the whole want, anything with want, whether it's within or without, it's just never going to be enough.
And what do you mean by know that when all your needs are met, you don't want for
like,
anything?
In the way that you've described, like with the couple here, how he gives her what she wants, I'm inclined to believe that want will never be enough. But when something is, a man can give what a woman needs. I believe that.
A man can give what she needs?
Yes.
Meaning what?
Direction or some sort of guidance.
Oh, okay.
Like that, I believe, can be passed down to the woman, and if it sinks in, if it settles in the right way, that's all that. Everything else is kind of cleared out of the way, like bringing sense and common sense back into a situation. I think the men have the capability of doing that, and kind of hushing and quieting down all of the internal mess.
Okay.
I think that's
amazing.
possible.
So last person, dying to respond. Why are women like that? Women, it's not, again, men are like this too, because they're like their mothers. They have the nature of the woman, but they also want something from the woman, and it starts with an S. If the man did not, if the man did not want X from the woman, S from the woman, I mean, she ain't gonna get X. He ain't gonna give her nothing. He gonna look right over her because he doesn't care about her anyway. If she don't look like the type that he want the S and can get the S, he ain't doing nothing for her. I don't care how many babies she got on the street, he'll leave her homeless. But if he wants something from her that feels that ego, he'll help her. He'll give her his welfare check. Isn't that amazing? And you want to tell me why that is?
I think it's that way because women, their entire existence, well, just the way they function, their whole life, it's all being driven by their imagination and their thoughts. So when something doesn't go the way they imagined it, they feel like they're going to lose control. So that's why they're a mess. But I think, yeah, that's just the way they operate is just driven by ego and imagination. So when you give them what they want, it's just building that ego more and more.
And why do men give them what they want?
Because they want what they want.
Yeah.
Which is sex. Mostly. But yeah.
I wish women could understand that men don't care about y'all, period. If they can't get an ego thrill from you, sex, and you cater to them in some kind of way or make them feel good, they don't care about you. Not at all. They care about your beauty. They say, oh, you're so pretty. But that's about it. Men don't care about women either, because if they did, they would not cater to the woman. As the lesson was saying, they would lead that woman out of her hell rather than going into her hell with her. They would lead her out because men were created to be the salt of the earth the light of the world, and they're not. The light going out and the salt going out. Julia, why did you want anything else to say about have anything else to say?
No, that's it.
Why are women like that?
I mean, everybody kind of said, I mean, anybody, men or women, if they want anything, it's all based off of ego. And when they give it or get it, it just makes you feel good. But I don't think that's always the case, too. I don't think that it's necessary, like in the grand scheme of things for them. I get what you're saying, and I think that you're making good points, and maybe some points in there that they can think about. But in the grand scheme of what they're saying, I think it's kind of a misjudgment on them.
They misjudging themselves?
No, like you to them.
In what way?
Because, I mean, stuff like, for example, I mean, this is the only example they use, the Starbucks thing. I don't see that necessarily as pleasing the woman, even though she didn't need it. But it was a kind gesture for him to do that, or for her to maybe take him to the meetings or whatever. I think it's just a kind, generosity that can also come from love. I don't think everything is just based off of ego.
Taking that coffee to that woman had nothing to do with love.
Well, it was just a generous thing that he did, and it's appreciated.
And it wasn't generous. But I make your point.
Oh yeah. Well, I just disagree, but she appreciated it, and he appreciates certain things that she does, and that is love. I see it as love, but there is a point that you're making to where if it goes too far and you go unconscious, then it can be about the ego and all that stuff. But entirely from what they say, and I don't think that's their case.
That's amazing. Oh, amazing. Okay. This young lady want to respond, and then Doug want to respond, and we'll move. Cause we'll move. There's so much more I want to say about this. Go ahead. Yes, you had your hand.
Something to it of there's definitely sometimes that I don't want to help, or my ego don't want to help, and then there is something that comes over me and says the right thing to do is to help.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely ways for women to help in a non-emotional way that is the right way.
Normal way.
And when you're working on yourself, you can see the difference, or even just observe. Even if it's a birthday gift and you want that person to feel, you give a birthday gift, you can see that, you can observe that feeling with yourself, where you can feel it's giving me a thrill. Or sometimes you can feel, I'm feeling bad because it's not that good of a gift, or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
But I also think that the reason why all women are like that, because I think that there is a programming that plays a function. Because I think that if you're working on yourself, that generosity can be done in your home, with your children, with your husband, and in the community. I think that can play a role if you're working on yourself, and you can give in a undramatic way. And I can see it with myself, because I can see the difference, how I help and how I give, and how different, like it have changed and being reprogrammed when I've been started to work on myself.
Yeah.
So I think that it plays a function. It's just that it's when you're not working on yourself, it just kind of takes over and becomes this ego thrill. But it's cool to see, and it can be beautiful to see that it's so deeply programmed in the female system. And if you're working on yourself, I think you can give that is just for the sake of giving, and because that is the right thing to do.
Right. Amazing. Yes, Doug.
I've always kind of thought that when people go out of their way to do that, they feel better than the other. They're like supremacists in a way. They get this thrill from it. They feel like they're high and mighty above that person. Even if I look back at my life when I did it, that's to some degree how I felt.
Okay.
Better than them, and angry when they didn't reciprocate and all that.
Nice. When you went and let's say you take your coffee to your girlfriend, right?
Say that again?
Your girlfriend was at work, down at the beach. It's all hot. And she's working, and you say, you know what, let me take her some coffee. You know, I know she's at work. What would that feel like for you to do something like that?
I don't know that it feeds my ego. I just,
You said
sitting
what now?
here,
What'd you say?
I love this woman. I've never had a deeper love than I do for her. That,
Right.
And it shows for me.
Right.
Because,
But what did it feel like when you decided to take the coffee? What was that like for you to show that deep love to her?
Just pleasing, ego filling, I guess. Yeah.
Was it an ego feeling?
Satisfying because she works hard. She busts her tail.
Right, and
when she works.
deserves some coffee. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
but was
absolutely.
It an
She'd
ego
do the
feeling?
same for me.
Right.
So, yeah,
Was
absolutely.
it an ego feeling?
I think so. I think there's some ego playing in there. Yeah.
Was it?
I believe so. I wasn't conscious of it until right now, till the discussions, regarding the ego. And I know I've got a big ass ego. People busting my ass about that at meetings.
Forgive him, Lord. He doesn't realize.
Sorry. Yes, God.
We're in
God
church.
knows me very well,
Yeah.
and I know God a little bit.
That's right.
Yes, God's blessed
So
me.
it was
big
an
time.
ego feeling.
Maybe so. Yeah.
Okay. Was it? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
There's definitely some ego in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it gives me the reassurance that I'm a good. I try to be a good boyfriend, and that's an instance. I'm getting out of myself because I never had kids, never wanted them. Why? Because I'm very self-centered, selfish, and I got to know that as I got a little older. I didn't want kids taking away my cars, my motorcycles, my house. I wouldn't have shit if I had children, I imagine. Oh, God doesn't like that either. but that's the way I didn't want children ever.
Right.
And I'm very selfish, self-centered, and she'll say.
Are you an only child?
No.
Really?
I have 2 brothers and a sister.
That's amazing.
They
man.
all had kids, and they're all divorced.
Yeah.
Now, except for one, and he's he follows the word of God, and that's the brother that kept the wife at home and had her raising the children. I love that guy. He's my number one in this life now that my pops has passed. But I feel blessed, man. I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad
I
you're
like
here.
your philosophy and what I've learned about you in a short time.
Right on.
And I can attribute that to TikTok and YouTube.
Right on.
But yeah, I like what you.
Amazing.
You preach.
Nice. Amazing. So you still think that was love, Joel?
I think that it can be. I mean, I'm not in their
How
shoes, so I don't know.
How can that be love?
I think there's a genuine way to give and be of service to somebody, and I think that what they explained, it seemed like that's what they were, but I don't know.
But you just told you it was ego.
Well, I mean.
So you still think that was love?
Well, my point still stands. I mean, even if it's not them, that you can still give generously, and it's not coming from an ego place.
How can you give generously and not come from the ego?
Because you're doing something that you see is maybe a need that needs to be provided, or not even necessarily a need, but she appreciated it because she's working hard.
Why does it have to?
Oh, hold on, take that.
Why can't it be both? Why does
very
it have to
good
be
question.
one or the other? Why can't it be like several different feelings that why you do something? Why does it have to just be ego driven? Why can't it be love, thoughtfulness? Why can't it be that I'm just thirsty?
Right.
Or, you know what I mean? Honestly,
I
why
know
can't-
it's a good
life
question.
is a balance of all things, right? Why we do a certain thing, why it comes in our head, why we do it,
Right.
is for many different feelings, not just for one.
Right.
Even like giving because somebody can't afford it, giving because we love, giving because we have the money and they don't have it. Like giving just because my parents taught me to be a good person and give. And some people give to show love. That's what my parents did for me.
Right
That's
on.
why I'm a giver, because they're not affectionate. So I'm that reason because my parents
Your
instilled
parents
that.
are not affectionate?
Yeah.
Affectionate?
They're Japanese raised, and that just even shows you they're not like that, but I came out different, right? I'm more Americanized.
Oh, I see. So they don't show affection, but they take care of their children materially.
Exactly. So if I
If we-
wanted something, my dad, he's always got my back there physically helping, but monetarily, like buying me whatever I wanted, you know, kind of thing. That's how he showed. He never said like, I love you.
Wow. And which, as when you were growing up, which did you prefer? Material
Oh,
things?
that's why I changed things with my son. I just tell my son I love him.
So you preferred the love over the material thing,
Exactly.
and you didn't get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the reason why I am, like, and you say ego driven, it's a balance of everything. The reason why I do things is because of love, because of ego, because I want to do it. It's not because of ego driven. It's because I am a well-balanced person, and if I'm able to give to a homeless person, I will.
Really?
Whatever it may be.
There's old
But
black
just-
guy over there at the post office.
You know what? If they're deserving of something, I will give to
Well,
them.
he deserve it.
You
You
know?
know why? Let me tell you why.
know?
He sit over there at the door and play the guitar, and people like you walk by, drop in tons of money.
No, I don't give like that. It's different scenarios
And then
why I give
at
to
the
certain
end of the
people.
day, he have over $1,000 dollars, sometimes
No,
$2,000.
I don't give like that. It's,
you
you,
know
don't
when he-
know the scenarios. Like you're just only
And you know what he
meeting somebody
does
for the
when
first
everybody
time.
gone?
Well,
He
what
go
I'm
down the
saying too
street
is
and get in his beautiful truck.
no. Well, what you're saying is certain scenarios and putting specifics to me, but you don't know
No, I'm
my,
not putting them to
my
you.
whole scenarios.
I'm just talking about the
but
homeless.
you're just saying in vague,
Right.
like why people give to a homeless person because they're playing a music and they're going to give $1. You don't know the scenario why people give to certain one homeless person that meets them in their life.
And what?
Right? While they're coming in their path, why they're giving at that certain moment, right? You don't know why, if they lost their home or something. But what I'm saying is every scenario is different upon the situation. And the reason why people do things is for many reasons, not just for one.
Me, I understand.
That's
And
all I
you're
have to
right.
say. I'm passionate.
That's right.
Yeah.
You are. Absolutely. Yes. Jesse, your hand?
Yes.
Okay.
But I was gonna comment on their relationship to where for a man to lead, he has to show confidence to this woman. I mean, give her confidence that he's able to lead, and that's by providing her the energy to keep going and building in home. As long as you're investing in infrastructure, I don't see nothing wrong with the ego. It's like he's gonna bring her something to keep going to make her job easier, or so she's not distracted. It's teamwork makes the dream work type deal. So
I don't know what you just said.
don't worry.
Repeat. Repeat. I just want to understand what you just said. I didn't understand any of it.
What part, Jesse?
None of it.
None of it.
Right. Just
All right,
I'm gonna
it's
listen
like
closely.
when you're in a relationship,
Right.
you invest in each other, the home base, your teams. So if someone's at work and they need to be refilled or something, you can take them something to drink. It's not your ego. That's your team partner. So you want to make sure that they have everything they need to get the job done and come home successfully and safe to you. So, I mean, I don't see anything about ego. I mean, yeah, somebody at work, even her coworkers might be jealous of that, but she's going to be able to make it and feel better at work because she has a solid leader as a
And
partner.
why do you want that?
Why do a woman want a leader?
No, why do you want all
provider?
that stuff you just said? You said you want that. Why do you want that?
Because without a solid foundation, your relationship's going to fall apart.
Amazing.
You say what?
I said amazing. That's a solid foundation, huh? Oh, he said that's a solid foundation. You agree with that too?
Yeah,
don't
no,
you?
I agree with what he said.
I figured you would. Amazing. Yes.
I think he answered it perfectly, and then I think he should have just stuck with that answer because he said she works really hard. The thought came to his mind, and he's like, "Oh, I have a little time. Let me go give her something," because he's recognizing that she worked hard. I don't see that as ego at all. That's
Okay.
plain old-fashioned thoughtfulness, which is good, right? I mean,
Nice.
Biden wouldn't do that.
Who? Who would do it? You said the Bible would do that?
Biden. Biden.
Oh. Amazing. Did I see another hand before? Yes.
I also think that there's a difference between giving with, like if you give and you don't want anything in return, that's the type of, that's like what you guys are trying to defend right now. But you guys are clearly talking about giving with wanting something in return. Like that's leading the way, or that's not ego, or that's love, or that's feelings. That's not feelings. That's like Christianity 101. Don't tell your right hand what your left hand did, or your left or your right. I don't know, but
What the?
yeah. There's a verse like that. Don't tell your left hand what your right hand's
Don't let
doing.
your left hand know what your right hand is doing.
When you're giving,
Right.
don't want something in return. Obviously, you got her a coffee because you wanted something in return. Whether you wanted her to think something about you, whether you wanted to get something from it. And you even said it's ego. So how can you say that it's love or it's a balance of everything? How can you balance everything? It's either right or it's wrong.
Well, let me
say something.
let me do this.
Just like
Okay.
you said, everything is a balance, right?
Oh, hold for
the
the mic.
question that you had
Take the
asked,
mic.
the question that you had to ask everybody is if it's one way or the other, right? Ego, no ego. It could be a balance of everything, like I just reiterated. It's not. But when he asked the question, it was pick one. It's not one feeling.
Well, how can you
it's
give-
many
Let's do
feelings.
this.
It's
Take the
many
mic.
feelings.
Why are you taking? Rush. No. I want to make it clear we're not yelling at you. I don't know how it got on you guys, but
So I'm just saying,
right.
you were talking about our relationship or why we do certain things. I'm just saying, but now after I spoke and I said this is the feeling I have is many feelings. It's not I'm choosing ego.
Are
Because you
feelings-
asked a
are
question
feelings
to everybody, ego, if it's ego, I told you my question is I'm not picking ego or I'm not picking
Right.
because I'm doing it for
But
a
your
good
boyfriend
deed or
said
anything.
he did it for the. He did get an
But
ego.
because you give him an ultimatum, ego, no ego. But if you ask him now, he's gonna just say it was many things too.
Oh, or he gonna say what you said.
Subconsciously, ego.
But see. But let's do this.
But it's many things.
But let me ask. Yes, Nick. Go ahead.
I'm
don't
hearing
raise
it's
your
I'm
hand
hearing
and
it's
answer.
many things. She says many things, but of the many things you've named, only like one of those are good. You know, you're saying want, you're saying ego. It's like, oh, it's all these many things. Yeah, and only one of those is good. So did you know before today that you were doing that with all those demons?
Amazing.
I want to say.
You looked disappointed when I said amazing. Yes.
I finally understand what you mean by human beings are evil to the core. Now I get it.
And what do you understand it about it?
That everything is about self.
Everything is about self. Everything that all human beings do is about self. And that's why you get a thrill. Because if it wasn't about ego, if it wasn't about self, it wasn't about the false self, you would get no thrill. You wouldn't feel nothing about it. And I promise you, every time you help someone, it will lift them up. It will not hurt them in any way at all. Because you'll be coming from the right place. And you can only give in the right way when you're living in the present and out of the ego. You will get no thrill from it at all. And it will be to the right person at the right time. Most homeless people does not deserve you giving them a dime. Most homeless people, I almost want to say all, most homeless people get a thrill from using you. They know they're using you. They make sure you look them in the face. Watch the next homeless person who you walk past. You be trying to hurry up and get by. You want to hurry up and get into that post office before they see you. There's an old black woman over there. She all fat. And she standing right in the door. And I've been trying to, because I know her, I see her all the time. I'm trying to hurry up and get in there. And she said, hi. I'm like, don't say hi to me. But homeless people know how to use you. They know about emotions. They know your weakness. They can smell you. When they see you coming, they rejoice. They're going to play that role to the max Because everybody on that, every homeless person on that block know about you. They know you're gonna give. And then when I know you don't do it, I know you don't give to all, but the one that you do, they smell you coming. Here's some nice lady. She gonna give. I'm gonna play the role. And homeless people know about feelings too, and ego. And that's why God is a dispassionate God, because emotions are not necessary. Emotions are your enemy. Emotions are pure enemy. And they will always make you make the wrong decision. Always. You can't make the right decision. That's why in order to have a life, you gotta die from a life. You gotta die from this ego thing. That ain't no love in that at all. It's all ego. He got a thrill when he thought about the fact that my wife, my woman, is down there working hard. Let me go over there and get her a cafe mocha. The thrill started right there. I love her. She works so hard. Let me go and get this. I don't care how hard it is. Yeah, she's gonna appreciate this, and blah, blah, blah. It's all thrill. Real love does not have a thrill to it. There's no thrill in it. Zero thrill. Because real love comes from God. It doesn't come from you. We don't have love. Human beings are evil and they have no love. Human nature is evil and there is no love. And everything you do is for you. It ain't never for your children or anyone. It's for you. That's why you get the thrill. Why do you think couples, when they get together and the thrill starts to die down? For an example, when a woman first meet a man and he meet her, they get so many thrills, they love one another. All hot and bothered and can't wait to hold on and touch and see one another. It's all a thrill, right? And then as soon as they get together, after a while, the thrill starts to disappear. And all of a sudden, it doesn't feel the same. You remember, you start to get all these thoughts about how it was. I remember when she used to bring me my coffee. I remember when she used to have my dinner ready. I remember when 5 o'clock come, I couldn't wait for my husband to get home because he gonna bring me some flowers. All memories, just memories. And then when that stopped, because the flower was gonna stop, and then the meal dinner gonna stop. It ain't gonna be on time. Or it's gonna be a meal that she would take and it didn't taste that good. And so you're gonna start remembering what it used to be. And in those memories, you're gonna think about how she is now, and you say, she don't love me anymore, or he doesn't love me. Why? Why he doesn't treat me that way? She doesn't treat me that way. Because all you have is memory, and the devil will tell you, yeah, that's right, because you loved him. And he's supposed to love you. Or he says, she loved me. Thoughts are telling you that. The devil is telling you that. But what is really happening is that reality is setting in again because all those good things start to fade away. You start to realize you're not as important as you thought you were to her or she to him. You start to feel that void in your life again. You start to feel that emptiness that was always there, but you cover it up with fake love, with fake get together, with all this stuff you try to cover it up with. You love me, I love you, by flower. But that emptiness never left. You just cover it up by using one another. And that's why when you break up, you fight. Because now you try to get those sweet memories back. And they're just memories, they're just thoughts. It was never real, it's just thought. You never loved one another. And you always had that void. That void never left. That ego never died. It just was covered up using one another. And that's why it brings it on. But what you don't know, and you will if you stay with it, you gotta let yourself feel the void. You gotta let yourself stay in the emptiness. You gotta let yourself stay in fear. You gotta let yourself stay in loneliness. You gotta let yourself stay in doubt and feel miserable in doubt, like death. The only way you're gonna die from the ego, you gotta live in it and live with it and accept it and not let anyone or anything fulfill it. then it will die. I promise you, it'll die. It will be taken away from you, and then you can treat each other in a perfect way. You'll be able to have a relationship, and it'll be perfect. Because it would not be based on covering up that emptiness. It would not be based on covering up that ego. It would be based on pure love. And a person that has pure love have no needs. You have no needs. You don't need to look for somebody for love. If the husband called up the wife and said, you know what, we had fun last night, but I'm done. I won't be back home tonight. I'm gone. And the woman be like, oh, okay, see ya. She'll be fine with it. Okay, bye. Because she never needed anything from him. Well, the same way with the woman. If the woman decides, you know, I met another fool man down the street and he gonna take care of me. And so I won't be back home tonight. Okay, bye. See you later. And he wouldn't miss a step. He would have no feelings about it. He would have no thought about it. Or she wouldn't have it if he left. Because they never needed one another. They already had what they needed. They had love. They had pure all life. The ego died and they were free. And so they wouldn't use each other. But every human being who intertwine with one another is coming up to emptiness. And that's why you try to pretend to go along with everybody and you love everybody. I understand everything and everything is right. Everything is not right. The ego must die. In order to have life, you must die. And the way when the thrill is gone, then you're dead. But the thrill got to be gone. And it will if you stop fulfilling it with people, places, and things. But the average person is not going to do that. The average person in this room will not live with total emptiness. It's too painful. You think emptiness is if you don't understand what you're going through, emptiness is a hard thing to deal with. It's a hard thing to deal with if you don't know what you're going through. But once you grow and you get some light, and you realize the thing I'm running away from is what I need to die from. That's what God said. You got to let go of it. You got to let go of people, places, and things. And you can't make yourself do this. You will grow to this as the light is taken over. It will destroy that human nature. Human nature is evil because it's of the devil. Women are evil because they're of the devil. That's why they work hard to get love. Oh, I just love everybody. Everybody love me. I'm so nice. I just give, I give, I give. And they judge you if you don't give back. I gave all my money to her and she just used me. That woman or that man that made you let them use you because you needed an ego feeling. You wanted to be used. If you didn't want to be used, you wouldn't do it. And you call it a thrill, you get mad at them, not realize you wanted to be used. Nobody loved nobody. Ain't no such thing as love. Human love doesn't exist. Human beings are evil, and every human being is about self. Ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. So you gotta endure that emptiness. That thing that tell you, oh, you're lonely. Everybody's at the party but you. Or somebody rejected you. And that's horrible. You're like, oh, yeah, I feel so bad. I was rejected. When men go to parties, they stand upside the wall because they're afraid of being rejected. They don't want to go there and ask for that girl to dance and look like an idiot when she says no. I say go and ask and look like an idiot. So you could die from that. And then you'll be able to walk up to any girl and get a dance just like that. But you gotta die from this thing. Everything you're doing is ego. And there's no two sides. There's a right side and there's an evil side, which is the wrong side. There's no, you can't understand both sides. That doesn't even make sense. If you're trying to help somebody, you want to bring them out of this false self of the other side. You can't have both sides. It's either right or wrong. And God is and you're going to be like him when you die with this ego. God is a dispassionate God, and the only way we're going to treat each other right, we got to be dispassionate. You can't be of this fake love and help one another, because it's always about you. It's never about them. The thrill of taking the coffee, I don't want to keep using you, but see, you're a good one today, but no, I'm saying. The thrill of making the coffee was just a thrill. It was not love at all. And it wasn't because she was tired and she just had, those all made up stuff. Oh, she's so tired. Let me go in the coffee and take it down to her. And when you take her that coffee and she smiled, oh, thank you, honey. All thrill. But if you gave her that coffee and she said, I don't want no coffee, why you don't bring me a coffee? Now you tick. I thought you used another word, but tick. What happened to that good thrill of buying the coffee? If the coffee was a good thing as out of love, whether she wanted the coffee or not, you wouldn't move. You wouldn't be moved by it. Okay, you don't want the coffee? Okay, fine, I'll take it. That makes sense? Anybody have any question about that?
Like a lot of what you said in the past, but today's kind of kooky. A little of your philosophy is kind of kooky to me. But I still love you.
Yeah,
I like
absolutely.
what I've seen and learned about you, but today some of your thoughts are pretty kooky to me.
Like what, for an example?
I'm sorry?
Give me an example.
Well, about how evil we are and we're all based on that drive of ego.
God said that we are. Is he kooky too? He said
The
every
way
human
it's
being must be
perceived by an individual and then tried to convey to a group like us, maybe, yeah. But it's maybe an individual spin on certain things that they've learned and can't convey. And I think it's a little kooky. I don't dislike you or,
No, you don't have to say that.
resentful. I mean, I'm glad I'm here. This
Me
was good
too.
for me. And it's a learning experience, and hearing everyone else, yeah, I dig this. I'll be back.
That's right.
I don't know if my girl will, but
She'll be
yeah,
back.
I dig the participation from this cat and these guys over here and the woman in front. Everybody.
Right on.
I like this.
Give me that.
Everybody learns everything from somebody. It doesn't have to be from you. It could be from this person, that person. And I,
Right.
absorb everything that was spoken, but not one person's beliefs is the right way. It's just your opinion about it. And everybody has their opinion about everything.
I should have said
Right?
it in the beginning. Don't believe my way.
Yeah.
Don't believe me.
We
at-
don't. We have our own minds to
exactly.
Right.
learn and
So I'm
believe.
absorbing everything, just like everybody's absorbing whatever I have to say,
Not
they have
yet,
to
hold
say, and whatever positive things that
Let me do this.
that maybe
Hold
you're,
on 1 minute.
Yeah.
Just 1 minute. Let me take it back to him.
Okay.
Don't believe me. I wanted it to go in one ear and out the other one. I want you to consider it kooky, crazy, this crazy black guy that I don't know what you're talking about from Alabama.
I didn't say
But-
that.
No, I'm saying that part.
The ability to convey.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying that part. But my thing is, I know it ain't gonna change anything with us. We're still tight. But let it be kooky. And just say, you know what, that man that was kooky. Well, I heard him on the internet, and he made some sense, but today was kooky.
That's what I'm going to say.
Right on, absolutely. Any other questions? Yes. About time.
What is worship?
Speak up for me.
What is worship?
What is worship?
Yes.
What do you mean?
You normally make I can't get the right context right now, but sometimes you're like, oh, you're worshiping the devil. You make that statement when, say...
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yes, like you say, when you're in your thoughts and you say you're worshiping the devil, but what is
That's a good
worship
question.
itself?
It's whenever you put anyone or anything before what's right, before God. Anytime you get any identity from anything but the Spirit of the Father, you're worshiping. That become your God.
So when you
When
say...
you get a thrill, Joel made some soup the other week. Y'all may have heard me say it.
Yes.
Did y'all hear about the soup? Oh my God.
Yes.
Talk about worshiping.
What did you put it above? Anyway.
It was delicious. It was so good. He brought a big pot one day. And it was so good, he brought another big pot the next day. And both days, on the first day I had a big bowl. On the second day I had 2 big bowls. It was so good. I was worshiping that soup. And I made sure Joel knew I was worshiping. And I made sure everybody in the office knew it. And I think everybody had some. Maybe 1 or 2 people didn't have any. Did you have some of me? Oh, yeah. See? Where's that black boy? I thought I saw him earlier. Okay. He had some. It was so good. That was worship. I worship in the soup. The soup was first.
So
the soup even beat out the strawberry pop with the peanuts inside, shake it up. It beat out that.
That's the real deal right there.
Yeah.
If you beat out the strawberry pop, I'm doing something good.
The pop's still in the refrigerator. Isn't that amazing? But in all honesty, anytime you put anything, emotions, good or bad, thrills, good or bad, false identities, good or bad, you're worshiping. That is your God. Any person, people, place, or thing.
So you said before that when the fall happened, when man became fallen, the devil became the woman's god, and the woman became the man's god.
Yes.
So, is that in the same context? Because when you elevate anything and above what is right, so is that what you mean? That it's like you're elevating, like when you say that the woman became the man's god, is it that men will, that will be what they will tend to do in the fallen state?
Repeat that.
You said that when man fell, when human beings fell, because the man listened to the woman became his god, and because the woman listened to the devil became her god.
Right.
So does that mean that the fallen nature will by default worship or elevate, say for the women, they will elevate what the devil wants, and the men will elevate what the woman wants? I don't know. I'm trying to understand that in context.
Understand.
I'm trying to.
What?
I'm not catching.
You
this
don't
one.
understand it?
I'm missing
well,
it.
you know you're off right now then. It's not clear.
It's in context of worship. Worship, you talked about yeah, it's in the context of the first question. Because if you're worshiping a God, but you've kind of also pointed towards what the man's God and the woman's God is. So in context of worship, are you also saying that we will tend to elevate the gods, whichever God it is we're worshiping? Are we going to tend to elevate them above what is true? Is that what you mean? Or does that apply that way?
Who said that? Okay. Who said I do too?
He did.
Oh.
I think what you're trying to say is when you're in the fallen state and you're worshiping that God, you become more and more like them, right? So the woman just becomes more and more like Satan, and the man becomes more and more like the woman?
Are you elevating more and more the values of that God? Is that what it means to worship?
I think it's true. I think as we're seeing around us, men are becoming more and more like women, and women are just getting crazier. So, yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, because you made a statement one time on one of the talk shows where you said that Anyway, let me just leave it at that. I don't know if it doesn't make sense.
Did he answer what you were asking? I want to try to respond to it. Did he made sense of what to your question?
Yeah, he did make sense. Yes.
Oh, okay, amazing,
Yes,
nice.
He did make sense.
Did I see your hair? Oh, you just respond to her. Oh, okay. All right. The one thing I want you to know is that you have never loved a woman, and a woman has never loved you. All your breakups was about your mourning about being all sad about the breakup. It was about that void that you had to face again that never left. It was just covered up. It was never about anything. It was just covered up. You found a woman, the woman found a man that they could use to forget about the void, the emptiness, but it was always there. And that's why I remember when I used to break up with girls, I had to have another girl waiting in the wing. I couldn't break up on my own. What the? And and I would get in my car and drive up and down Pacifico Highway all the way down to Santa Barbara in California and back. On a beautiful day like that, the day would be perfect. And I would have the music on, sitting by the dock of the bay, watching the time go away. And I'll be boo-hooing. And I would have a head full of memories of what it used to be like. Oh, I remember she used to come over, and in my head I'm thinking all this stuff. She would come over and make me dinner or this, and she would clean the house, stuff I remember. Or I used to have her come over to my job because she was so fine. I would walk her up all up and down all the hallways so all the guys can see where I was. But those were just memories, but at the time I thought they were love. I thought I was in love. I didn't know I was in memories. It was just thoughts. And I would feel that emptiness because now she's gone and feel like you lose life. You feel like you lose your life when a woman is gone. Same way for the ladies, right? So I thought I was in love and driving up and down that stupid freeway, singing Top of the Bay, and feeling that emptiness. I thought I was in love. I didn't know it was just all ego. She had covered up the pain with false love. And I had covered up her pain with false love. Had I known, well, I don't know what I was done, but it would have been nice to know that it was all fake. And all I had about her was memories. And those memories were not love. They were never love. It was just memory, it was just thoughts. Isn't that amazing? It was just thoughts about her. I was still empty. And only God can fulfill that, but you got to feel it. You got to go through it and not use it anymore. No one ever said to me, Jesse, you know what? You driving up and down this freeway looking silly. On a Sunday morning, driving your car, singing music, you have just replaced, you still covered up the void with a woman. It wasn't drugs, it wasn't alcohol, it was a person. And you call it love because she was nice to you, you were nice to her. It felt good. But feeling good ain't good. And now all you're thinking about is the memories of that. What am I going to do tonight that she's not going to be there? It was just a thought. It was just a memory of good times. But I was still in hell because I thought I had love. Every human being has the same thing. Every breakup is about that. But I'm telling you, if you die from the ego, you will have real love. And when you come together, as man and woman come together, it will be perfect. It won't be that emptiness. It won't be a need from her or a need from him. And it will be perfect. And you will have a marriage that will last until death do you part. But if it doesn't, you'll find too. Okay. You won't be missing it at all. She won't miss you and you won't miss her. There will be no fighting, no nothing. But you got to die. You got to die. We're using one another, don't even know it. We're giving it names. We'll call it a love. We'll call it fulfilled loneliness. We'll call it, oh, I'm a good person because I do this and I do that. Or I'm a bad person because I do this or I do that. You're putting titles onto even demons. The big demon is the fear, and all the little demons is the rejections, it's the emotions, the good or the bad. Little demons. We're all possessed, and we must be born again so that God can take away the thoughts and the feelings. Last word, yes, sir. Did I see you? Ooh, did I see your hand? Oh, here. Yes.
Will you ever know when the ego is completely dead, or?
I want to respond to that question this way. Don't think about it.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, Satan's going to put thoughts and he's going to fulfill the thought and you won't know. But if you don't think about it, take no thoughts for tomorrow. Don't take any thought about who will I be when the ego dies. Who will I be when it's gone? Because Satan will play on the thoughts, he'll make you think. So have a way to see. But one thing I can tell you, God will not leave you blind. You'll be able to see.
Because I think I asked this last week, but it's going to be like a process, right? The ego is going to break down little by little. Or is it just all at once?
I understand what you mean by process, but forget about process. You just want to die. What I would encourage you to do, stay conscious, stay present, stay right here, right now, instead of in your head thinking about the past or the future. You want to practice staying present. You want to practice staying present. So when you find yourself thinking about the past or the future, come back to present. Even if you have to do it 1,000 times, come back to present. You want to practice being present instead of in your head thinking about the past or the future, and everything will be taken care of there. It will happen. So I understand what you mean by process. See that? No. But forget about the word process. You just want to practice being present, being conscious, one with the Father. All right? And it'll happen. It will happen. And it's going to be so amazing, too, because as you're present, it's mind-blowing what happens in the present. It really is. And it's just interesting to see evil having a fit in the present. Evil going to scream at you. He's going to say, you're lonely. You're by yourself. You ain't got no friends. You got no lover. Your wife gone. Your kids gone. You got no. Come back to me, it will say. But you won't be able to do it if you're present.
Yeah, I had a little experience this week going through that. I was doing like a little workout at home. And I was like warming up, and then I realized for a second that I was just there. Like I wasn't thinking about anything or anything, and I just hunched over like one of those zombies. I just literally hunched over and I couldn't move. Like I was just in pain. And
right on.
Like everything from sweat, tears, snot, it was just all leaking out, and I just couldn't move.
Nice.
And then I went from that position to like that thinking man position when you're like that. I went from that position to that position. I stood there for a minute, and I was like, okay, what's happening? But I just let it happen. Let it happen. And I just want to know, like, that's part of that. Okay.
Let it happen, because it will come upon you. Sometimes, long you're present, but it will come upon you. You don't realize what's going on. You know something's happening. So when that happens, let it happen. Don't freak out. Don't run and be afraid. Even if you are afraid, stay with the fear. Stay with the fear. Just stay with it. Feel it. Experience it. Don't run from it. And it will be taken care of.
If I was welcoming it, is that something like an ego thing too, or is that something I should do?
What you're welcoming is the light.
Okay.
Most people don't believe in God. That's why they would never welcome the light to come in. They welcome hell. They welcome the darkness, but they will not welcome the light, and they're not ready for it. So what you're doing when you did nothing about it, you'll welcome the light to come in. That's what God wants. He wants you. He's not going to go into anybody's house unwelcome. You got to welcome it, and you welcome the light by laying your weapons down. Stop fighting with the spirit. Stop fighting with evil. Stop fighting with everybody. Don't fight with evil inside of you, And don't fight with it outside of you, inside of other people. Never argue with people. Don't try to prove anything with them or anything, because you're fighting with the devil. And that's what the devil wants. And the devil said, well, you don't fight, you're going to look bad. If you're going to fight, they're going to think you're weak. Or all kinds of stuff. Don't fight. He's trying to pull you into a fight. Don't do it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah, don't do it. But yeah, you're welcome to light where you don't fight. Lay your weapon down. Stop fighting. It's a spiritual battle. It's a warfare between good and evil. You got to give up the fight. And let God fight your battle. The light fight your battle for you. And he will fight it for you, but you got to stay in the war of hell and let him fight and bring you out of it. Destroy the hell. You got to be lonely. So, right on. Any questions? Yes.
The biblical question?
Oh, thank you. Have you ever seen God?
No.
You have not. Anybody here in response to the biblical question, you have seen God? You've seen God before? Okay. And you've seen God?
Every time I look in the mirror, Jesse.
And what does he look like?
He looks like me.
He look like you?
Inside everybody. Yes, sir.
God look like you?
Yes.
And what do you look like?
I look like Frederick.
You look like what?
Frederick.
You look like Frederick? And you think that's what God look like?
Yeah.
And what does Frederick look like?
Frederick looks like knowing himself. He looks like that he's only gonna take his experience with God from him and his experience from God. I can't take your teachings of God or anybody else's teachings of God. It's just me and my experience with God.
Amazing. And what's yours? You give me an example of your experience with God.
My experience with God
If you could think of
one. Yeah, he leads me every day. I have to do a inventory, you know what I'm saying, of my life and what I'm gonna do. So God leads me spiritually and just to be the best person and to be of service every day. You know what I'm saying? Just to show up. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's no evil. I don't think I take accountability for my actions. There's no devil making me do anything. I don't push demons as a cause for me doing wrong. I try to be the best person I try to be every day. You know?
So you think all the wrong you've done and all the good you've done has been you?
It was my choice to do right or wrong. Yes.
It was your choice to do wrong.
Right. Yes. The wrong I did was my choice.
Why would you make the choice to do wrong?
Because it felt good. And anything I ever done that was wrong felt good. Yeah, it felt real good. I probably want to try to do it again. There's probably laws against it, but yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. What a messed up guy that is. No, I'm saying. No. Okay. Anybody else ever seen God? Yes.
Not with my physical eyeballs see God.
So tell me first, yes or no. You've
Yes.
seen God, and what did he look like?
It's with a spiritual eye, so it's kind of hard to explain, but the best way that I can explain it is radiant, infinite light. That's it. That's just a glimpse. Only got a
Radiant, infinite
glimpse.
light. Explain that.
Like no darkness at all. Like looking at the sun. Like you could glimpse at the sun, but you can't sit there and stare at it. That's the only, because it's spiritual, it's a spiritual eye that you see with, that's the only way I can explain it. Like looking at the sun, like it's just light and it's radiant and it's bright, but.
And how do you know that was God?
Because it was revealed to me.
So God said, hey, you looking at me?
No. It's like I asked to see God. I asked God to reveal himself to me.
Really?
Yeah.
So you like, God, let me see you. He said, okay.
Well, I was like, if you're real, like it was in a moment of like just ultimate like depression, the lowest point. And it's like, if you're real, prove it. Show me that you're real. And in that there was light. There was no darkness. There was everything that I was going through emotionally was gone in that moment. But it's a spiritual thing, so it's hard to explain. But if I had to compare it to like a physical vision, I would say like looking at the sun, just radiant, infinite light that casts out all darkness. Why are you looking at me like that, Jesse?
I'm just listening. Amazing.
That's it, and that's just a glimpse.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It was just a glimpse of all that radiance and
Yeah,
like,
just a glimpse, just a peek. But that's enough to let me know, like, I want to be on the straight and narrow path. I don't want to be in the darkness.
Nice. Okay. Anybody ever seen it? Anybody else? You want to say yes or you don't want to say yes? Because you like.
I have a question. I don't think I've ever seen God.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I've felt the presence of God, but not where it was so clear
you've
that
not
I
seen
saw
him.
God. Yeah. But the question that I have is,
Am I standing all right?
you look great.
Yes, go ahead.
Have you ever seen God?
I've never seen him, but he have done me some favors.
What does that mean? Like in the form of a miracle, or what do you mean?
I wouldn't call it a miracle. I would just call it favor. Because miracles are not what people think they are either. Amazing.
Amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes.
I have a question.
Okay.
What did Jesus mean when he said, whoever's seen the Son has seen the Father?
Because when you saw Jesus, you saw the Father in him, working through him.
So could I say that I've seen God by listening to you? Because it seems you are Christian, you're Christ-like.
I wouldn't recommend you say that.
You wouldn't recommend me saying that, but that's because you don't want your ego.
But if you see the light, then that's up to you to see it.
Yeah,
Right.
but I just want to
But I
say
can't
it.
tell
Don't
you
make
to
me not say it.
But I do know for sure, and without a doubt, every aspect of my life is because he's working through me. There's no way, Jose, that I would know and be doing what I do if it wasn't for him working through me. And the peace that I have, I know it's from him, but I'm not like all into like, you know what, God, whatever, kind of thing. I'm just taking it one day at a time. I still have to do the prayer. I do the prayer every day, all day now. I practice being present. I never assume that I know anything or don't know anything. I never assume that I'm right or wrong about anything. I'm just living my life, and it's amazing. It really is amazing. With no assumption. Get rid of all assumptions. All assumptions. Did I see your hand? Oh, and then yours, huh? Yeah. Let me take here and then there. We're out of here.
Is that what you meant?
I'm sorry?
The answer you gave, is that what you meant by he's done me some favors?
I would say little silly things to him.
Okay.
Like, I remember when I was a kid, and all the adults were saying that God existed, but I was a kid. I didn't know if he existed or not. And I remember saying to him once that, okay, God, I was walking down the road. I said, okay, God, if you really exist, let it rain. The first thing about rain, let it rain in the west over there. And right away it just started raining. But I was a kid, about 6, 7, 8 years old. I'm like, what the? And then I said, oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
So then.
And then I said, okay, you let it rain. So if you are really real, let it thunder over there. And right away it thundered. There was no clouds, no nothing. And the rain came and the thunder happened, it was done. So even now, I know it's amazing what happens.
So when you ask the question, have you seen God? You do the yes or no thing, but what if the answer is like partially, glimpses, but not like I see you or the chair. I've seen glimpses of God.
You have seen glimpses?
Of course, we all have.
I'm sorry?
I feel like we all have.
And what did the glimpse look like?
Anytime you see anything on the earth that's natural, including people, that's a glimpse of God.
Really? Well, everybody say that. That's why I asked,
maybe
because the
it's true.
Christians always said, oh, I see God. I'm like, yeah, where did you see him? Oh, when I look at the trees.
Right.
Or when I look at the flowers. And all they're doing is saying what somebody else said about the flower and the tree. They don't see God.
Yeah, but it's
But
his
I'm not
creation.
saying you don't see him. I'm just
No,
saying.
but it's his creation.
And I'm like, was he behind the tree or in front of the tree?
So you're asking, do you see actual God, not his product?
What?
You're saying, did you see the being of God, not the product of God?
When I ask that question, it was just I had no idea about how, any particular way. It's just that I hear the Christians and other people say they see God all the time.
Right.
I just ask because they can never tell me how they saw him.
Well, I'm only saying because that's evidence of the creation.
But when you see human beings, you don't see God.
Well, it says God created us in his image.
Right. But that doesn't mean when you see human beings, you see God. I promise you, when you see human beings, you see evil. You don't see God.
In
You're
the creation,
seeing nothing but evil.
in the shell of God.
I'm sorry?
So if he said that he created us on our own image, that still doesn't, that can both be right. You're seeing
When
the shell.
people think of God created them in his image, they're thinking physically.
Yeah.
But that's
Again,
not what he
evidence.
meant.
Right.
He did not mean I created you physically in my image. He just put this coat on you so you can function in the earth, but you're not the coat. You're not the physical.
Right.
So he didn't mean physical.
What did he mean?
But you're thinking that he meant physical, so you think that every time you see somebody,
Yeah.
you see God, but you're not.
Okay, so then what did he mean when he said, I created man in my own image?
Spiritually. He is a spirit. He's not a physical. And he asked the question about when you see, the Father said, the Son said, when you see the Father, you see the Son. You can see in the Son the Spirit of the Father in the Son, not the physical. That's why the physical die away, it goes back to dirt. But the Spirit lives on forever, the real you. So when you're out there, you're looking at demons. Demon trees, demon people. Yes, sir.
The question's kind of related to what you just said about how you said, let it rain, and it rained.
I'm sorry?
You know how you said, let it rain, and you saw some rain?
Yes.
So are those revelations that you see outside in the world, is that from God, or is that just your imagination again?
I don't know. I was just a kid.
Oh.
All I know, it did rain.
Okay.
And it didn't rain on me. It rained down the road.
Yeah.
And then the thunder happened. But I wasn't putting all that into it. I was a kid. I didn't know.
Okay.
I don't even know. Maybe God, he kind of probably thought I was playing.
Because a couple of times I would be driving and I'll say, if this is the right path for me, just give me a little something, and then I'll see like something like a billboard and it'll say exactly what I wanted to see.
Amazing.
So I don't know, is that, yeah.
That's normally what billboards do.
Yeah.
No, I'm playing. Oh, Lord.
And then,
we got to end.
Yeah. One more quick question.
Okay.
So as you're doing this, as you're sticking with it, I forgot what I was going to say. Being present. So is it becoming harder to be present, or am I just noticing more that I'm not present?
You're noticing more that you're not present, and as a result, you are present.
Got it. Okay.
When you can see that you're not present, I forgot to be aware to walk through that door, or I forgot to be aware of getting into my car. You are aware. When you remember, you are aware. It's only when you forget that you're unconscious. Absolutely. So you are becoming more and more aware because you're seeing what's going on. You can see the darkness. And in closing, one thing I want you all to know, everybody, You're not your body. You're not your vices. You're not your emotions. And you're not your thoughts. You're none of those. You're not your body, none of those things at all. I promise you that. And that will die if you stay on course. You got to stay with it. Stay, like you were saying, you realize how much you're just like your mama, right? You love having people around you. Realizing it is all you got to do. That's the light. That's the inner darkness. And the light will destroy that. Don't try to do anything about yourself, because the devil's going to tell you, oh, now that you know that, stop inviting people or stop doing this. All you're doing is staying in hell with the devil. But it's the light that lets you see that. Don't judge it as good or bad, right or wrong. Don't feel like there's something you need to do. There's nothing you need to do but to be aware of it. And in being aware of it is the light of God, and he will change it. He will balance it out. Because you got to deal with human beings. You got to do business with people, go by the groceries and all. But it will work itself out. That makes sense? So just see the mama in you, and invite all your little babies over. No. And you'll be fine. All right, I hope this helped a little bit today. Just a little light. All you need is a little light. But you ain't never been in love, and nobody ever been in love with you.
Still in hope, folks, before we leave.
That's right. When you stop looking for love, you will find love. Don't look for anything. Don't want for anything. You should have it all. It really will happen. It'll be perfect. And don't let anyone tell you that it can't be perfect. You can be perfect right here on earth, because God is perfect. But you got to die from the abnormal state of being. You got to die. The fate you got to die. They're not you. Then you'll be perfect. God is perfect. And so is his nature. All right? Brand new biblical question. Do you love the emptiness of not knowing who you are? You're like, Jesus. Do you love the emptiness of not knowing who you are? Amazing question, huh? Do you love the emptiness of not knowing who you are?
I know myself.
Right.
I know myself, Jesse. I don't have any emptiness.
I'm sorry?
My life is very fulfilled. I think I know myself pretty well.
And so do you love the emptiness of not knowing who you are?
I don't see no emptiness.
Oh, okay.
All right, thank you.
Amazing. Do you love the emptiness of not knowing who you are?
I enjoy it. It's interesting.
You love your emptiness not knowing who you are?
Yeah.
Amazing.
I thought I used to know, and I used to do art and music. I mean, I still do it, but I don't really mess with it anymore.
Let me do it because of time. Do you love the emptiness of not knowing who you are?
I'm with Frederick, man. I know who I am today. I'm full of character defects, shortcomings, but God's taking care of me, man. Everything that I've gone through, good and bad, God's been there, and I've turned my back to God when I've gone through the darkness, on my own.
And so
but
do you,
I don't
love
have
the
that
emptiness of not knowing who you are?
I don't have that emptiness
Okay.
today. Maybe tomorrow, but today, no.
Okay. Do you love the emptiness of not knowing who you are?
I don't know how to answer that question.
Okay. Right on. I saw your hand, last word. Do you love the emptiness of not knowing who you are?
Yes.
You love it?
Yes.
Okay. That is the biblical question for this week. We're totally out of time. Do what you want. Again, don't believe me. Let it go in one ear and out the other one, because I could be lying to you. And all you do is believe more lies. You know what I mean? If you don't see it for yourself, if it's not revealed to you from within, you don't know if it's true or not. You really don't. You're just intellectually repeating it. And the intellect is your enemy. It's your enemy. It pretends to be God. But you have a teacher within, and the teacher will verify if what I'm saying is true or not. It will be a witness to that. It will let you know. If that teacher's not telling you, you don't know if it's true or not. And that's the truth. All right? So listen, we'll do the super chats next week. Tomorrow. Tomorrow is next week. Monday we'll do the super chats. Also, this Thursday is the first Thursday of the month, so we are having the men's forum this Thursday. We're having a meeting this Thursday at 7 p.m. for men only. So come on down, man. It's gonna be a hootenanny of a time. And then for the third Thursday for ladies only. Third Thursday for ladies only. All right, don't forget to support us. Donate your tithe and offers. Thank you all. Amazing fellowship. I appreciate it. Bye. Amazing. Nice.